Adult Insights is brought to you by Yapo Dollars, the video-on-demand program optimized to earn you more. Seeing your first porn is one of those defining moments on your way to adulthood. Here are some early memories that have stood the test of time.
Actually, it was a stag film. I was 17, and the guy I was dating, who was like 24, took me to this house party, and they had these stag films playing. And I was just appalled, but strangely excited.
This is rather intimate. The first porn I ever saw was scrambled HBO type Playboy channel, because I'm fairly old, so these were the days when HBO was a box on the top of your screen, and my parents were out. I think it was 12 or 11, and I flipped to the Playboy channel and I could just hear it. But that was good enough for me as a 12-year-old.
I was 14 years old at a friend's house, and I learned more on anatomy than the sexual part. I just didn't really know how it worked, because I really thought, the vagina was similar to a belly button. You just kind of put it in, but it's not quite like that at all.
My best friend's older brother had a magazine in the back shed. And we found it one day, and we were looking through it, and we were like, oh my God.
I hated it. I think it was Deep Throat. And just because, even as a kid, you've heard of Deep Throat, right? And, man, I must have been, 12 years old or something, and found this tape, and, you hear about the legendary Deep Throat. I watched it. I was like, this is crap. What do you mean she has a clit in her throat? I mean, come on.
Yeah, it was Missy Beethoven. Old school. Probably haven't even heard of it. It was probably on film before video. I'm not a big porn person, first off, so it's kind of weird. There's got to be some porn that, like, my best friend's house, they were all, like, him and his all brothers were, like, watching it, and all I remember was sex on a beach, and there was, like, sand on the dick and the vagina, right? Or the pussy, that was the worst. I was like, damn, that's gotta hurt.
The first one that I saw, I think I was 13 or 14, and I was with my friends, and we went with her sister to clean someone's house, because that's what she did. And my friend's like, come with me, this guy's got gay porn. And it was Men of Montreal, and it was the first time I ever saw a cum shot, and I was scared to death. And it seriously scarred me for a while in embarrassing ways.
I don't remember what the name of it was. I just remember it was my brother's. And I was so worried he'd find out. I'd take the tape, watch it, and then I'd rewind it to the exact spot it was when I picked it up.
Online adult entertainment is known to be a welcoming community. Many people are willing to lend a hand to help you succeed. Here's a nod to some of the friends and mentors who have made a difference.
Greg Parsons, who was my first manager over at Slickcash, was always a big help, sat down and talked to me. Basically loved people like Robert the Legacy's, always taken a lot of time. And even peers, like people who've been in the industry roughly the same time, someone like Danielle who was at Why Not, now a Traffic Dude, had some excellent conversations with her. She's very knowledgeable. Just great industry people, and I try to meet more people every day and just kind of sit down and pick their brain a little bit.
I'd say people like Scott from Sleazy Dream, definitely Lars and Sean from Streamray, and now they've merged with our company. Andrew has been a great mentor for me as well, Andrew Conru. Lots of people, I've worked with a lot of good people as well. Kathleen from Gooba has also, we worked together for a long time, and she's someone I talk to a lot, and Virtue Mike, and a lot of good people that I could credit. I'm sure I'm forgetting a lot of people.
The first person who hired me to work for them somewhat was Shemp from, he's also in Vancouver, and I was helping him organize some stuff and did some banners and such, and I think he was the one who passed my name on when Lars was looking to hire a sales rep, and it was Shemp and Sleazy from Sleazy Dream who recommended me, and that's how I got where I am now, so, because I had no idea they were even looking for someone.
Rainey has been one of my strongest influences, and even though she's not even directly still involved with traffic per se, she's now involved with business development on the billing side of it. She had a very no-nonsense approach regardless of whatever chaos and drama was going on either side. She saw clear to the end goal, basically, and I don't mean that in a money first. There was a certain professionalism that just didn't deviate regardless of what time of day of week, who was upset at you, whether or not the clients were in a good mood that day. It was consistent. Admittedly, she was right there within the same company. Soon afterwards, though, I was pretty intrigued. I paid attention to the business-to-business success of Darren Black, D-Money. Not, again, also because he came from the same original corporate environment, but he was my first example of somebody that basically effected a proper business plan to create a business around his knowledge and acumen and his ability to network people together. And he's arguably still the most successful person in that category to this day.
Probably my wife. To be all honest, it's kind of a cop-out. I mean, I can drop names in the industry and things like that, but for the last 3-4 years we've been show hopping, going back and forth from different things. I've worked long hours after I was still in real estate till a year or two ago as our primary source of income, and really spending the time researching, developing, building relationships for our upcoming program was the most, and my wife coming with me, learning the business and appreciating what I was doing really meant a lot. And she's still an integral part of the business. Even though she's not 100% working in it, she still visits most of the shows with me and really works as a sounding board for everything we do. And moving forward, it's been an incredible help. Plus, she's great eye candy. She's gorgeous. If you want to attract flies, you got to bring lots of honey.